How do you become irresistibly attractive to the right partner? Not the one that's okay or, hey, I'll take him or I guess I'll settle for her. No, the right partner, the one that really hits that mark for you, that sweet spot, the one that feels like you're the one I've been looking for. How do you become irresistibly attractive to that person? I'm going to tell you how to do that right now because that's what we all really want, right? You don't want to just get good enough. No, you want what you actually want. And there's a very realistic way to get it, right? And I'll say it like this to make this as easy as possible. Just think about the very idea when we say attractive. Attractive means you draw things to you, right? You're polarizing. There's a polarity there that pulls you to the thing or the person and the person to you, right? Attraction. And so the best way I'll say this, or the simplest way I'll say it is, the more you learn the art, because it is an art form in a way, of becoming inward focused, the more you learn to focus inward, right? Put all of your energy there where focus goes, energy flows, and then you start to expand because that's what grows, right? The more you expand from inward, it's the more you become attractive outwardly versus the more you continue to focus outwardly, meaning all of you out there that are trying to figure out where's the next place I need to be to find the right person for me, or the ones that are always evaluating other women or other men to compare yourself to in respect to how well they're doing with getting men or women in their lives, finding the partner that they want. You start trying to shape yourself to fit something you're not. Or maybe you go and you start trying to, impress the opposite sex or whomever you're trying to attract. All things that starts to take the focus away from being you, right? Being true to you and trying to be the version of yourself you need to be that can just get that person that you have your eyes set on through the door. Now, don't get me wrong. I'd be the first one to tell you it's a wonderful thing to do to evaluate the type of partner you want in your life, that type of person, that archetype of a person, and asking yourself what they're looking for. And then if there's areas of yourself that you could improve on, that you agree with, that is something that they're looking for, that you recognize you're not already exuding, then yeah, it's beneficial to you to adopt those things they're looking for and work on building those areas of yourself because you find value in it as well. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those of you that are out there literally trying to fit yourself into a box that you don't fit in, right? You're trying to be something that doesn't resonate with your spirit, all in light of having this person that, you're at least physically attracted to, or whatever the case is. And I say at least physically because more often than not, you'll find people that keep trying to attract a certain archetype of a person because of the looks of it, right? Because they're attracted to them in the general sense. Usually that person doesn't really fit them because if they did, you wouldn't have to become something you're completely not in order to have them in your life. If the things that you have to become don't align with you. I'm not talking about growth oriented things. I'm talking about you trying to just be someone that doesn't really resonate with who you are as an identity in order to have someone. That's external focus to your internal versus the other way around. The more you learn to focus in here and build what's in here, the more it starts to become what it needs to be to have what you want to have, right? So what does that mean in a more practical sense or a little more tangible, right? What it means is the more you focus on, do I like the way my body is right now? Am I taking care of it in the healthiest way? The more you focus on, am I being active with it? Am I going to go take it to the gym and take care of my vessel, right? Because it matters to me. Am I eating better so that I can be better in this space? Am I doing what's necessary to feel like I'm living a life of purpose? Am I building confidence around the attributes and qualities about myself that I take time to reflect on and acknowledge about myself and showcase better, right? To where I get more reps in with the things that I'm good at and less time focusing outside of myself on the things that maybe shows me stuff I'm not good at, right? The things that remind me I'm not this man or not that woman. Am I spending less time doing that and more time focusing inward as to who am I as a man or woman, right? Who am I and what makes me amazing, right? And pouring into that, finding activities and setting a schedule that allows me to live and engulf myself in the gifts and the qualities I have that are unique that not everyone else does. Am I spending more time discovering what my unique angle, my gift to the world is, if you will, that everyone else doesn't necessarily have or exude or work on, and making that thing more valuable, building that skill inside of myself to where I then become more valuable to the marketplace, right? And then am I working on my look, how I want to present myself that meshes with who I feel I am internally, right? Am I doing the things to be the polish and the caliber of what I expect of myself in life and a partner that I will have in my life? Am I being the model of what I want to have? Am I willing to sacrifice? Am I looking inward at myself enough to see me and who I truly am, or who I truly want to be, or who I'm truly meant to morph into? And am I making the necessary sacrifices to maybe pump my brakes on dating for a bit so I can focus on building some sort of resource for myself? Maybe I'm trying to, level up in my career or whatever the case is, or, maybe I'm trying to get better with my mental health and work through my emotions and my regulation and so forth, or my communication skills, right? To where I took a back seat for a second on dating just to focus on me for that. Am I sacrificing maybe going out more or going on vacations more to go through a season of saving, or, just building and getting my finances right so that I can actually invest and have more so that I can actually show up better in an equation where I'm attracting a certain partner, right? So where I actually won't drop the ball when that right person shows up, I'll be ready for them because I've been putting the work in on myself, right, into developing me so that I can be more fruitful on the other side. How about, have I spent enough time with myself and shutting out the outside world just to focus here in the center towards me enough to truly learn how I actually need to be loved versus the way I thought for so long? Have I actually put enough time and intentionality into crafting what that looks like in practice? If I had to sit in front of a potential life partner right now, could I tell them without hesitation exactly what I need from them to love on me the way I need to be loved? Or would I have to think about it for a minute? Would I have to go back and refine it? Am I actually prepared for what I want, right? Am I a living representation of who I'm looking for out there in the opposite version or the opposite frequency of what I am and so forth, right? Or let me say that's the same frequency, but maybe the opposite sex, maybe the polarity. There has to be polarity, right? You don't want to just be with yourself. You want to be with someone that feels like you're counter, but in a very harmonious way, right? That actually has the compatibility and has the chemistry and makes sense. And here's a big one on that focusing inward. Have I focused enough on me and put enough intentionality into myself to create a schedule and a life that is built around the orbit that is me? Meaning, have I put enough intentionality and focus into filling my glass up, creating a life to where I'm living in a way that does things that brings me joy, things that I love to do and engulf myself with, things that brings me zen, or, the environments that really resonates with my energy? Am I putting myself out there in those spaces? Have I created a schedule that gives me enough variety in life to get out there and feel and experience these things? Have I created enough of a life to go give myself some sense of social, a connection, right? To where I'm building a muscle of building networks of the right people around me. Am I putting myself out there at the events and at the different things going on, different places to be that will allow me to facilitate that? Am I putting myself out there in environments that, feed my spirit, things that I really love to do, maybe hobbies, what have you, or different types of events I like to go to because it's my kind of sauce, right? To where I get to feel like I'm around the type of vibe that I like to be around. And when I'm in these environments, am I also moving, operating like someone that is a prize, right? Do I live in a way that reminds myself that I matter, that I am significant, right? And do I wear that whenever I present myself in public? Do I carry an energy and an aura? Do I have do I carry my physiology, right? Or my mannerisms? Is the way I carry me, do I have a smile on my face? Do I have brightness in my eyes? Do I fill my glass up enough and see myself enough to where I get up feeling great about being me every day enough to where when I'm walking out in public, it's infectious. It's very alluring, right? When someone sees me, they think, oh, I want to get to know more, or I want to watch and see what he or she's doing, right? Because they have you have an energy, you have a vibe to you, right? Are you carrying that? Because the only way that you can carry that is by you focusing on you more to build you up, so you have something to be prideful of and about, to where you truly see your value, you know it and you live it, to where it exudes out of you, right? To where your perspective on life starts to reflect more of what you've created internally that you're now projecting externally, which other people see, which other people are drawn to and want to be a part of. And especially if it's that person that's right for you, they're going to want to be a part of it as well. And I want you to notice the little hack in there, right? As I was talking about, you filling up your life with a schedule of you getting out there and, putting yourself in environments that brings you joy and fun and happiness, or even brings you zen and peace, or even allows you to connect with like-minded people for the networks you need to have, right? Because we should be focusing on only the people that mesh with what works for you, because you're focusing inward. So you should be putting yourself only around people that meshes with that. But notice the hack in, if you're doing that, you just gave yourself 3 different ways or places to be more consistently, because this is a lifestyle, not just a once in the blue moon thing, to be around other like-minded individuals that could be potential partners, right? Not just so you can make new friends, but to put yourself in the social circles with people that resonate on the same vibration as you. They're on the same type of time mentally and emotionally and going directionally, because they have the same similar interests, because they're in the same place that you're going for things you have interest in. You find people in those spaces, you're way more likely to find the person that is best fit for you, and you're going to shine and stand out to them more or most, because you're also exuding all the awesomeness that is within inside of you, instead of being so externally focused and worried about everything around you. Because here's what everyone does. They go out and they're so externally focused, they're so worried about what everyone else is thinking. And they're, worried about what they're thinking, they're worried about what, how they're looking at them and what the impression is they're giving off. They're so worried about everything except for just being, right? And we have this tendency to give more credit to ourselves than we deserve. We start thinking we are a lot more important in other people's lives when we're out in public than we actually are, to the point where we become so self-conscious and we fail to realize that everyone else is just as much in their head thinking about themselves and how they look and how we're perceiving them, as much as we're thinking about how they're perceiving us, right? But it's that little piece right there that causes so many people to be attracted easily or allured easy to the person in the room that's willing to unapologetically be themselves and be proud of themselves and carry a great positive energy as a byproduct of being themselves and focusing more on being true to themselves. So the more you can do that in the right rooms that fills your glass up, is the more you're going to be lights out, irresistibly attractive to the right person. Let's get it.